I am very concerned about this because I feel that space and time from a Buddhist point of view is very unique. And also I am amazed that when the Buddha conceived of these things, he didn't have the advantage of technology or even the language in which to explain what he knew. All right? And also that this space and time, if we understand it in the right perspective, we will begin to understand that the Buddha was not simply a human being. Remember, we were talking about the what, the who, and the what. Yes. Yeah. Now, when it comes to the what part, yeah, he's no longer a mere mortal, a mere human being. What is this? Yeah, and how does he sort of fit into the cosmos when he says that he who sees the Dhamma sees me? Yeah, it is these two dimensions of time and space. All right, and there is a clue. Venerable Ananda asks the Buddha, "Where can your voice be heard?" All right, and the Buddha's intention was not to teach us cosmology. All right, or whatever he taught was the Four Noble Truths and how this fits in. Okay, and we are lucky that incidentally he speaks and he says, as far as sun and moon move in their course, that means within our solar system, yeah, and lights up all quarters with their radiance, so far expands the thousand-fold system. So in the Milky Way galaxy, this we are interpreting, yeah, we are using modern language, yeah. So in the solar system, he talks about the thousand-fold world system, which we know is vast. Yes. But the Buddha said that is nothing compared to what he has seen, yeah. A system a thousand-fold this. So from the solar system, you might talk about the Milky Way galaxy. Yeah, it's a thrice thousand-fold world system. Okay, and then from a solar system to the Milky Way galaxy, then he goes into the whole cosmos, and he calls that the major size world system. And here it says it's 1,000 minor systems, 1,000. Yeah, you see what I mean? We are talking in terms of this, yeah. And it boggles the mind. Mind-boggling. So you don't use language to understand this. Right. You use your insight. You see, you go into the wordless understanding of this and you begin to see. Now, in that thing, the Buddha can reach out to the entire cosmos. You see? And so, he is not a mortal. He is not somebody who lived for 80 years, yeah, grew old and died. No. See, when he became the Buddha, he became part of that system. You see, and he understood that system. Remember we talked about Loka Vidu. Yeah? So he knew the Satta Loka, that means the world of beings. Right. Yeah? Sankara Loka, the world of conditioned things, and the last one is the Okasa Loka. Okasa Loka is a world of locations. Right. He knew all that, and he could see it with his eyes. And at that time didn't have the language. Yeah, at that time, but he was able to explain this and to make people see that our planet Earth is not the beginning and the end. Even if you bring in heaven, hell, and earth, it's still not there. It's much, much wider than that. And the Buddha is above all of this. That's on one level, that is in terms of space. Yes. Then we talk in terms of time. Yeah? And again the Buddha was asked, and the Buddha was asked about samsara. You see? We think in terms, our limited minds, we think of, okay, 15 billion years, we go back to the formation of the Milky Way galaxy. But the Buddha doesn't look at it that way. And as another very important thing, we do not think that the planet Earth is the only place where life exists. Life exists everywhere, which will explain how the Earth is getting populated with billions of people. Where did they come from? They didn't just come from here, they came from that vastness. Yeah? And this will go. This will pay back to the, the law of impermanence. And planet Earth will go. But we won't go because our karmic debt has not been paid. We will go and colonize some other part of the universe where there are also manusya. They may not look like us, yeah, but because they may be nitrogen breathing, we don't know, but they have that manusya. Manusya means that which has a mind to think. Yeah, manusya. That which has a mind to think. So we have to think in terms of that. In terms of time, when the Buddha was asked, how long have you been in samsara? He explains. He says, if all the tears that we shed through samsara were collected, just one person, it will fill the oceans. Where he cannot use scientific language, he turns to poetry. You see, remember the metaphors. You see, and to sort of get an idea. Again, we cannot understand this through language. Exactly. We have to go beyond language and we have to visualize, we have to insight these things. And then when you see all of that, you begin to see what the Buddha was saying about dukkha and samsara. That meaningless going round and round, the meaninglessness of it. Yes. Yeah? It's not simply pain, yeah, but the angst, the emptiness, and the meaning. When we have that, then begins right understanding. Then we will begin to see why it is necessary to get out of it, and why we cannot wait for tomorrow. We don't know what tomorrow. And the Buddha uses the metaphor of a man with a beard on fire. When your beard is on fire, you just let go. You don't wait, and ponder about these things. You do something about it. Do something. That is the crux of the teaching of the Buddha. It's not just theory, yeah, Dhamma. It is also Vinaya, practice. So it's knowledge and practice must come together. He always talks about his teaching in these terms, Dhamma, Vinaya. So the two. So we have time and we have space, and in time it goes like that. And while he talks about this vastness, and for a Buddha, this is interesting to know. What is a kappa? What is the expansion and we said that according to Venerable Sangharakshita, it's 1 followed by 140 zeros, years. That's one kappa. And there are millions of those. Okay? And then you see it expands. To become a Buddha, this is the point. To become a Buddha, a Samma Sambuddha, you need to go through 300,000 life cycles. 300,000 of 1 followed by 400. Yeah. You don't even begin to think. Yeah. Okay, but again poetically, the Buddha is explaining. To become a Samma Sambuddha, to become a Pacceka Buddha, 200 life cycles. To become an Arahant, 100,000. So that is why a Samma Sambuddha has distilled and purified. Okay, and this is the amount of time that it took him, yeah, to practice the paramis and perfect. So that's why when we say he's a perfection, that moment of enlightenment brought everything together and moved from who is the Buddha to what is the Buddha. You see? So time and space meet. Okay, and the Buddhist concept of time and space, you will see, is vast. Maybe because it all, of course, falls back on the Indian. The Buddha was born, yeah, in India, where there had been a huge, long tradition of this understanding of the universe and all of that. He fine-tuned that. Okay, on the one hand, at length of time. And it goes to the other side, the other end, where he talks about a moment. A moment is upada titi bhanga. The time it takes for something to arise, to change and cease. To arise, to change and cease. Now the commentaries explain that that moment is shorter than a flash of lightning divided into 17,000 parts. 1/17,000th of a part, okay, is that. Yeah. Today in quantum physics, we talk about a Planck moment. If the Buddha had today's language, he would have explained, yeah. A Planck moment is 1/trillionth of a trillionth of a trillionth of a second. Okay. Already that means what the Buddha saw is now being proven by science, that this is what we mean when we talk about time. On the one hand it's like this, on the other hand it's that, and the human mind, that's the miracle. The human mind, the Manusa, was able to comprehend this. You see? So the Buddha saw this. Okay? Yeah. And when we think in those terms, we will see what samsara means. When we say suffering, it's not yesterday, today, tomorrow. It's vastnesses. All right? And worlds upon worlds being created and being destroyed. Okay? So, and in that, the Buddha stands supreme. He understands. He's loka vidu.